Beijing escalates its criticism of Japanese leaders' remarks on Taiwan, while the SAR backs China's stance towards official exchanges with Japan. Many parents have their wishes come true as more than half of pupils get the side primary 1 spot, a 20-year high. And let's watch how Cristiano Ronaldo scores superb bicycle kick in Nassr win. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Evan Bai. In the latest development, China accused Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi of crossing a red line with Taiwan military intervention remarks. In response to fresh warning from Beijing, Takaichi said Japan is open to dialogue. Anna Chen reports.
Despite being in the same stage of G20 summit in South Africa this weekend, Li Qiang and Takaichi did not exchange words nor meet on the sidelines. Speaking to reporters after the summit, Takaichi said Japan is open to dialogue at various levels, adding that both sides should understand each other and cooperate more. Of course, it is important for Japan to say what needs to be said to China, she said. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Wang Yi commented publicly on the issue, saying Japan was crossing a red line that must not be touched, and it was shocking for Japan's leader to openly send a wrong signal concerning Taiwan. He urged Japan to reflect on and correct its mistakes as soon as possible. China has already introduced a series of measures, including a travel advisory against visiting Japan and the reimposition of a ban on Japanese seafood imports. In Beijing, Foreign Ministry asked Japan to clarify its so-called consistent stand on Taiwan and show sincerity for dialogue over diplomatic role. The spokesperson also pointed out that because of Takaichi's erroneous remarks, conditions are not yet ready for holding a summit among leaders of China, Japan and South Korea. Anna Chen, Cable News.
In regard to recent diplomatic row between China and Japan, the city leader John Lee said the SAR government will only engage in official exchanges with Japan that uphold national dignity and will closely monitor the developments. Quentin Yang has the story.
In his first public address on the deteriorating relations between China and Japan, Lee criticized the Japanese leader Sanai Takaichi for her extremely erroneous remarks, which he said hurt the feelings of the Chinese people and challenges the post-war international order. The remarks followed the reports by Japan's Kyodo News that the SAR government postponed a bilateral enterprise exchange event last week after barring Japanese consulate officials from attending. A high-level economic meeting scheduled for December between Hong Kong officials and Japanese Consul General was also cancelled. While Lee did not directly confirm the reports, he underscored that Tokyo's actions had severely deteriorated the atmosphere of Sino-Japanese personnel exchanges, casting doubt on future collaborations. Our arrangements must align with national dignity and Hong Kong people's interests, he stated, stressing the government would monitor developments closely. Lee added that the Security Bureau has updated the outbound travel alert, reminding Hong Kong residents traveling to Japan or currently in the country to remain vigilant and prioritize their safety. Local airlines also confirmed plans to provide flexible options for passengers traveling to and from Japan to adjust their itineraries. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
A record 52.3% of pupils have successfully secured a primary 1 discretionary place this year, marking the highest success rate in 2 decades. Quentin Yang again reports.
The release of results today brought a mix of relief and disappointment for thousands of families. Celebrating outside LaSalle Primary School, a traditional elite school in Kowloon City this morning, this couple said they breathed a sigh of relief.
Important moment in the life 嘅喎，咁點都冇理由望一望就走啊嘛。
Meanwhile, this parent called it a major life moment that required repeated checking to believe. He noted the stark contrast with his elder son's experience, saying the current lower birth rate made the process much more relaxed. For many parents, the declining student population boosted confidence. With just over 30,000 children applying for these coveted spots, approximately 19,000 received the good news. However, the day was not without its emotional lows. Another parent from the mainland, who rented a home near the school, in hopes of securing a place for her son, expressed a palpable sense of loss after her application was unsuccessful. The system also showed the advantage for families with existing ties. Nearly half of all successful applicants were inherited admission cases, where a sibling already attends or a parent works at the school, sources said. Authorities are reminding parents to formally register at their allocated schools next Wednesday or Thursday. Otherwise, the placement might be forfeited. Kun Yang, Cable News.
Public hospitals will start charging for non-emergency radiological exams next year, with fees ranging from $250 to $500 and need to be fully paid 2 weeks in advance. The hospital authority explained the move is aimed at optimizing the use of resources and reducing waiting time for patients. Jamie Liu has more.
From January 1st, the hospital authority will introduce a new 3-tier charging scheme for radiology services that are scheduled after a hospital discharge or a consultation at outpatient clinics. While standard X-ray scans remain free, ultrasound and fluoroscopy will require a fee of $250. Computer tomography and magnetic resonance imaging scans will cost $500.
We wished our patients to co-pay part of the medical fee so that our patients will judiciously use our public resources. This concept is not only for a radiological investigation, but for all the medical services.
The HA stressed the new fees are only around 10% of the cost, and the rest are still subsidized by the government. Officials said that even after the new fees, about 60% of CT scan users will remain exempt, and underprivileged groups can still apply for waivers. Patients must also settle the payment 14 days ahead of their scans, or else the appointment will be cancelled. Billing reminders will be issued via the HA Go mobile application.
That would allow radiology departments to have an adequate period of time to rebook and fully utilize the allocated appointment time for patients who need it.
During the transition, same-day payment will be allowed for appointments from January to March. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Police arrested a 48-year-old man on suspicion of attempted murder after he allegedly consumed rat poison and tried to feed it to his daughter at home in Wangtai. At around 8 p.m. last night, the man's mother alerted police that she found his son vomiting in the bathroom and later saw him give his 11-year-old daughter long and honey to drink. The woman further noticed rat poison powder both in the kitchen and on a staircase at Feng Tat Estate's Toi Feng house. Suspecting that both her son and granddaughter had ingested poison, the father and daughter were rushed to the hospital in a conscious state. Sources said the man has a history of mental health issues. The case was classified as attempted murder, and the investigation by the District Crime Squad of Wong Tai Sin District is underway. Hong Kong Palace Museum apologized to visitors who faced long queues for its new Ancient Egypt exhibition and is considering extending its opening hours to accommodate the overwhelming demand. Ancient Egypt unveiled treasures from Egyptian museums, which features 250 Egyptian statues, stelae, gold ornaments, and mummy coffins, has welcomed over 16,000 visitors since its debut last Thursday, forcing people to wait for over an hour and temporary suspension of on-site ticket sales. Taking to the airwaves, Museum Director Louis Ng said the situation was not ideal. We did not arrange different time slots of visit in this exhibition, as we want to give visitors more flexibility so that they can take their time and fully enjoy the exhibition, Ng added. He said the show is the most popular event since the museum's opening, with souvenir sales jumping 50 times more than usual during the first 4 days. He noted that the museum is looking into opening night visits, emphasizing that the exhibition will run for 9.5 months, so there's no rush to visit. Israel struck Lebanon's capital, Beirut, for the first time since June, claiming it killed Hezbollah's chief of staff and warning the Iran-backed militant group against rearming. The attack on Sunday also killed at least 4 others and wounded 25 more. Kun Yang has the story.
The strike hit a 9-story apartment in the southern suburb of Harat Harik, a Hezbollah stronghold, damaging surrounding vehicles and buildings. The strike allegedly killed Hassan Tabatabai, Hezbollah's chief of staff and highest-ranking military commander. He was the most senior Hezbollah figure killed since a U.S.-brokered ceasefire began last November. The Israeli military confirmed the target was Tabatabai, stating he commanded most of Hezbollah's units and was actively rebuilding the group's military capabilities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its forces. In response, Hezbollah confirmed Tabatabai's death, calling him a great commander and warning the attack opens the door to an escalation of assaults all over Lebanon. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun condemned the strikes as a proof that Israel does not heed the repeated calls to stop its aggressions against Lebanon and urged the international community to intervene forcefully. Kuntinya, Cable News.
The United States and Ukraine said they have drafted a refined peace framework to end the war with Russia after talks in Switzerland. It is reported that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky could travel to the U.S. as soon as this week for further discussions. Jamie Liu reports.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio led a delegation to meet with Ukrainian Presidential Office Chief Andriy Yermak and his team of negotiators in Geneva. Both sides said they have made good progress.
So it is in my personal view that we've had probably the most productive and meaningful meeting so far in this entire process since we've been involved in from the beginning. We have a very good work product that was already built on a foundation of input from all the relative parties involved here.
Rubio stressed, with ongoing negotiations and new inputs, it will bring changes to the 28-point peace plan proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump and widely seen as favoring Russia. He suggested there were issues that still need to be worked out but did not specify. Downplaying the Thursday deadline set by Trump, Rubio said the president was pleased with the latest progress. Later, in a joint statement, Washington and Kyiv said the talks resulted in an updated and refined peace framework. Zelensky said he saw signs of Trump's team listening to their concerns and reiterated the first priority should be a reliable peace, guaranteed security for Ukraine, and respect for its people. In a counter-proposal, European allies sought a NATO-style security guarantee from the U.S. for Ukraine if it is attacked. They also called for discussions with Moscow on any territorial swaps to only take place once the war ceases along the current line of contact. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 496 points. Top active stocks of the day. Alibaba was up $6.90. Tencent was up $14.50. Kuaishou was up $4.55. Meituan was up $2.60. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar. Canadian dollar 5.51. Australian dollar 5.01. On to the weather now. Mainly fine. The minimum temperature in the morning and at night tomorrow will be about 19 degrees in the urban areas and a couple of degrees lower in the new territories. Very dry during the day with a maximum temperature of around 25 degrees. Persistently fine and dry this week, cool in the morning. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Evan Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.